The third component of the OJT blueprint is the task analysis. This is an example of how the job of an accounts assistant should be analyzed. As highlighted, there are 7 main components to be filled in, and each component will be explained in detail in the following slides. The first component to the task analysis is the main task, and the main task should include the learning outcome of the OJT program and should be derived from the analysis of work situation. It should always begin with a verb as well. For example, in the case of an accounts assistant, one of the main tasks is to manage accounts receivable. Hence, the main task should be starting with the verb manage accounts receivables. Secondly, task elements detail the list of steps and activities required to perform the main task. There should be at least 2 steps to the task elements. It is derived from the analysis of work activity and organizational SOP. For example, a task element of managing accounts receivable is to ensure that the correct invoice template is used. Thirdly, key points are the important points that should be emphasized during training. Key points may be things like ensuring customer response before due dates, identify late payment, etc. Things that are important but not exactly implicating your competency on managing accounts receivable. Next, task standard describes what the learner must be able to do in order to be deemed competent. Task standard is a criteria to be assessed as competent. It will be used to assess the competency of learners after the OJT. And you should be using SMART guidelines when setting the test standards. Specific refers to the 5 W's: what must they do, who is doing the task, where will they do it, why is this important, and when will they do it. For measurable, how much or many do they have to do? For achievable, is it too difficult for them? For realistic, is it even possible to do it? And lastly, for time-bound, by when should they complete it? So in the example of the MP Work Study program, the accounts assistant would not be required to take any test at the end of the task analysis. That's why extra attention must be given to this part, as people often are confused between the task standard and key points. Moving on, knowledge, skills, and attitudes refers to what knowledge, skills, and attitudes must be acquired during the OJT. It is important to differentiate the 3 as people often get confused. Knowledge is rather theoretical compared to practical, and it can be gained through research or studying. Having knowledge of how to do something does not necessarily mean that you can do it, even if you understand the steps and what should happen. For example, general accounting procedures can be learned through a company's procedure booklet. You may be informed of the steps involved but can still be unable to perform the task. For skills, it refers to the abilities that they need to possess to perform the task. For example, analytical skills. And attitude refers to a feeling or opinion about something or someone, or a way of behaving that is caused by this. In this case, it is the attitude that they must have while performing the task. For example, being meticulous is very important for an accounts assistant. And under explain, things that the trainer needs to explain to help trainees understand should be written under it. Under demonstrate, you can state certain things or steps that the trainer needs to demonstrate to the trainees. Lastly, under practice and feedback, list the things that the trainee needs to demonstrate back for the trainer so that the trainer will be able to provide them with feedback. Lastly, state the total amount of hours allocated to the specific main task.